Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm JJ Flazanes, your host and producer. Thank you for downloading today's episode. Today, we're going to talk about why there is no better than here with Veronica Turner. Before I introduce you to Veronica, I want to let everyone know that we are doing a 30-day manifestation challenge in the Inner Circle membership in January. I know I didn't give you a heck of a lot of time to consider it, but it's really been what has been the ritual in that group is that in January, I want to reserve the 30-day manifestation challenge for those who have up-leveled their game and decided to join the membership, which, by the way, is only $9.99 a month with a 7-day free trial. And if you're interested in joining our January manifestation challenge in the Inner Circle, you can go to jjflazanes.com/inner circle. The link will be in the show notes. And just to let you know, there are a few spots left in the Inner Circle Mastermind, as well as some spots open in our new Emerging Business Builders group. So if you're interested in any of that, please fill out an application so we can hop on a call and see if any of those are a right fit for you. JJ's Inner Circle Mastermind.com. Veronica Turner is founder and CEO of Nature's Sorcery. She is a lifelong learner and lover of what nature has to offer. She felt it was time to move away from conventional Western medicine, where symptoms are treated, and go back to natural ancestral medicinal practices that treat the ailment. She took what she learned from her grandmothers and great-grandmothers, along with her business degree, to create products to help others. She has a bachelor's in business administration, specializing in international business. She's completing her training at the Herbal Academy and will soon be a part of the American Herbalist Guild. She's a mother of two, happily married for 22 years, and has lived in Texas her whole life. Enjoy today's show. Welcome to the show, everyone. Today, I have Veronica Turner. You have met Veronica before. She is part of the Inner Circle Mastermind, both the first year and moving forward in the executive track. And she launched a business this year called Nature's Sorcery. So if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that we did do an Instagram live, and you may have heard about her through the support small business movement that I did back in September that we all shared about. So this may not be the first time that you've heard it from Veronica. If you are listening on the podcast, we are doing a video. So if you want to watch and come on over and look at some of the products that Veronica has, come on over to jjflazanes.tv to check us out on video. And if you're watching it here on YouTube, there is a link below you can click to take it with you. So you don't have to watch the whole thing. You can take it as a podcast. So welcome to the show, Veronica.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. So this is your introduction to the community in terms of, let's go back to before you and I worked together and you were just a listener. What were you looking for? Why were you tuning in? What were you looking to get?
So I had started listening. I was listening to a different podcast, and they had mentioned the law of attraction, The Secret, and had talked about Jen Sincero's book called You Are a Badass. And I read the book, I listened to it, and kind of wanted more. So I searched law of attraction in podcasts because I was commuting an hour back and forth each day. So I had time, and I searched law of attraction on podcasts and found you. The name was attractive to me. So, mind, body, soul, spirit, purpose, and energy. I was like, cool, that's what I want.
Awesome. And oh God, bless the days when people could search those things. The whole podcast world has changed, and unless it's in the title of your show, you do not have search words anymore. And that was a growth point for me. Most people were typing in law of attraction and astrology and numerology to find spirit, purpose, and energy, which made it easier to attract the right kind of people. So how long had you been listening before you reached out to me?
I think I was listening maybe 7-8 months, maybe a year before I reached out. I think you had a 2-pack starter pack, and I was like, okay, I'll try it, see what I get.
And here you are. At this point, this was probably, let's see, you came to the boot camp, you joined the mastermind. Boot camp was October 2019. Yeah. And you and I are working together before that, probably around the summer, maybe.
Yeah, right. It was late summer.
Right. So we're definitely a year and a half We're definitely a year and a half in here. And again, what, in terms of what you were looking for in your life. Okay, so one of the things that when you and I talked about in the green room before we started recording was what to call today's episode. What was the theme for you in terms of your growth and evolution from when you started listening to the show till now, including your year in the mastermind and your decision to move forward into the executive track? And you said that there is no better than here.
Yeah. So I felt like there was something missing in my life. I had a great marriage. I have a great marriage. I have great kids. I have really nothing to complain about. But I always felt like there was something missing, something more that I was destined for, which there is. But I always felt like, oh, I need to get there and I need to make this amount of money and I need to have this kind of car and this kind of house, and when really, this house is, we've lived in it for almost 20 years. It's a great house. We had it built to the way we wanted it built. So what really am I looking for when I already have it?
So let's answer that. What were you really looking for?
I think it was just happiness with me and who I am. It had nothing to do with anybody else. And I was lashing out at people like really angry and in a negative space. And I was like, that's not me. I'm not, there's really nothing to be angry about, and so it was, I'm here. I'm already here. When I was a little kid, I wanted to have, I wanted to be successful, but what does success mean, and I am successful in, compared to family members and friends. I think I'm successful.
Would you have made that same statement 2 years ago?
No.
So what changed from I want to be there? Okay, so there is no better than here. Where's there? And that you realize that there is no more there. Like at what point in this evolution from listening to the show, reaching out to work with me, coming to the boot camp, joining the mastermind, what were the lessons that had to be learned to get you to realize that you are here and there is no there?
Right. Learning to love myself for sure. My mindset changed a lot. I feel like I'm in a higher vibration than I was, 2 years ago for sure. I was, again, in a very negative space, looking at my body. I wasn't happy with it. I'm still not happy with it, but I know I'm changing and I'm making strides in the positive way to change my body. Things like that. The way I eat is changed. And I see I'm affecting other people in my life to do the same. So I think it's a great change.
Have people in your life noticed a difference with you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What kind of feedback do you get?
Just being happier, more positive. I'm no longer just putting things aside and I'll get to that later. I used to have a quote that I love to say, and it's from Gone with the Wind. I won't think about it today. I'll think about it tomorrow. When really, when is tomorrow?
Right. It's not, yeah, it's like pushing it off for another day and another day never comes. So really It just doesn't get dealt with.
Right.
So I want to really emphasize the progress that you've made. And I want to shout on the rooftops about your products. And we're going to share them with everybody, but I still want to go on this journey because again, there are a lot of people who are out there who are sitting where you are and where you were in terms of not being happy, thinking I have to have a different house. I have to have a different body. I have to have success in a different way in order for me to feel better. And, by the conversation we're having right now, one would think, okay, well, you're at peace with where you are. So then the question becomes, why keep working? Why do the second year of the mastermind? Why invest more and take a bigger leap, so to speak, in terms of, so tell us about how you feel about that, how you interpret that. Like, because someone may say, well, if I'm just supposed to be happy with the here and now, does that mean that I don't try for more?
Right. Things change daily, hourly. I know that I love my day job. I love it. But there will come a time where I will retire. And then what? Well, at that point, I want to know that I have something already started that I can sustain my life with and something that makes me happy, and provides something for other people.
Yeah. So Veronica comes to the boot camp and I'm sure I probably said, hey, do you want to come? You're one of those, what did Crystal call you? The silent stealth?
Silent sniper.
The silent sniper. She called you the silent sniper at this last retreat because Veronica, there are several people who are moving on to sort of the higher level executive track in the mastermind. And Veronica is not normally she's a little more shy. She doesn't, even though she's starting a podcast, like several of them, and you're doing great. But, in the beginning, you just sort of you would be quiet and sort of observe, and you weren't like the chattiest. Of course, that changes with a little bit of alcohol and about a year's worth of being around people, because you were who I know you are more. On that first night we were all together on Thursday in Santa Barbara, you were just, it was awesome to see where I know you can go without substances, right? Like without alcohol, right? Like where we remove any inhibitions, when you aren't editing yourself, when you are just free to be you at that level. And I've seen a lot of growth in the last year among this community of ladies that we currently have in the mastermind. So let's talk about why you joined. Because I remember when you said coming to the boot camp, you were a private client doing health and wellness things. And then I mentioned the boot camp and you're like, okay, I'm going to come. And I think that was a big step for you, right? Like you had never, tell us about that.
Just leaving, my husband and my kids are everything. They're my inner circle, and we do everything together. We go to the grocery store together. We go, out to the park together. We go to little fairs together. And, my kids are 21 and 17 now. But we still do those things. If they have time, they're not doing school or work, and they have time, we're going to go do restaurants together. We're going to go, hang out together, no matter what it is. And for me to step out of that and say, hey, I'm going somewhere without you guys, it was really big for me, especially since TJ was born, and he's 21 now. So it was a long time.
21 years, you haven't done anything for you, like just you.
Right. Just me.
And why did you do it?
I felt I needed it. I needed to get that confidence without having them as my crutch. I feel there's plenty of times that I kind of hide behind Jason and let him be the outgoing one. And I'm the supporter. I support everybody and everything.
Well, that was not you on Thursday in Santa Barbara. Jason was not there to be the outgoing one. You took that and ran with it. I only wish we would have recorded some of it because it was awesome. It was awesome. So, okay, now you've come to the boot camp, and again, because generally you're pretty quiet. So like you didn't say anything. You didn't indicate in any way at the time that the mastermind was something you were interested in. And all of a sudden, I think you told me in a session, yeah, I'm thinking about joining the mastermind. I was like, oh, okay. Out of left field. Like, that's cool. And so tell us about this idea that you had. How long have you had an idea to make these products or go into business for yourself?
Well, I went to school for business. I got my degree in business. It was actually the school I went to was very big on entrepreneurialism. So I knew I had it in me. I became a mom, stay-at-home mom off and on for the past 20 years, and so it was like, what do I want to do? When is it going to be my time? And as the kids get older, I'm like, they don't need me as much as they needed me when they were little. And so I need to step out and, hey, do something for myself. And for me, it was almost a no-brainer that it was plant medicine, because it's something I grew up with. It's something that I still practice on a daily basis here at home. My kids when they get sick, I don't give them, medicine, traditional medicine or conventional medicine. I give them, plant medicine.
So this year in the foundation level of the Inner Circle Mastermind, Nature's Sorcery was born. It was born and it was birthed. And we have some products. You have 5 products now. Oh, I didn't even, what? The hangover cure is downstairs. It's in my kitchen where it should be next. Yeah. Okay. But Veronica launched with 3 products. Well, let's start with the first one. So let's talk about you've been using plant medicine and natural herbal remedies. That's what your grandmother did for you. That's what you've done for your kids. And it's been something you've been thinking about doing. And now you're in the space of committing to, I'm going to do this year. And I know we went back and forth with all different kinds of names for it. And you landed on Nature's Sorcery, and you have a really great logo. And you knew which product you were going to start with, which was the elderberry syrup and the tincture. So you want to talk about that?
Sure. Elderberry is high in vitamin C. It's a antiviral, antimicrobial. It's an immune booster. So it's not going to suppress your immune system. It's not going to maintain your immune system. It's going to boost it. And it's a great daily tonic.
I just took some. For those of you who are not watching the video, I just showed you the bottle and I just took some. And I do take it. It sits on my desk so that I can remember to take it. And it's funny because I haven't eaten anything today yet. I'm fasting. But the first on my tongue this morning, there's a little chocolate essence to this. Elderberry, I taste chocolate. And the wine taster in me is like, oh, I taste berry on the front of the tongue. I taste chocolate on the back end. For those of you that don't know, I have a podcast called Something to Wine About. And we get pretty deep into wine. And tasting this for the first time today without anything else on my palate, while it has a berry flavor, there's like a chocolate hint, like as an undertone of chocolate, which is really, which I have never noticed before because I haven't been paying attention. But so for those of you that don't know what elderberry tastes like, elderberry is a dark fruit, and a lot of dark fruits in wine also can taste like have chocolate undertones. Again, it's not chocolate, and there's no sugar in it, but it's like the hint of those flavors. And so elderberry is just, it's really yummy. And I really love your tincture. And I think that for those of you that want another remedy, if you, at this point, everyone has heard about elderberry, I hope. And if you haven't, look it up because it's extremely powerful. It's all natural and it tastes good, most importantly. So we started with the elderberry syrup, and I remember getting the first bottle of that. Still have those downstairs. And then we went to what was next. Was it the tea or the F that?
The F that.
Okay. Talk about that.
So a lot of people complain about pain and popping, I don't want to say brand names, but ibuprofen, aspirin. It's not good for you.
And let me tell you, it isn't good for you, but let's go why. Let's talk about some of the reasons why.
Right.
I think the biggest reason that those chemicals are not good for you to be taking on a regular basis, most importantly, the most overlooked, I think, for most people, is that it actually will start to create micro tears in your gut lining, which will then lead to leaky gut. When you put chemicals in your intestinal tract and in your digestive tract, those are harsh. They're not easy to break down. The body isn't supposed to have those levels of acid and chemicals at that level. And taking a lot of pills, and that's all pharmaceuticals, by the way, but especially over-the-counter ones that you think aren't that harmless because they're or not that harmful because they're over the counter, over time will wear away at the integrity of your gut lining, therefore creating leaky gut. Leaky gut will often lead to autoimmune disorders. And people think, oh, well, this is nothing I can do about this. There is many times there is. So there are solutions, and leaky gut and healing leaky gut and cleaning up your digestion, which makes up 80% of your 75% of your immunity, is a huge place to start. So anyway, so in terms of Veronica wanted to make a pain relief that wasn't chemical based. And so let's talk about what's in F that. I just took some for those of you that are on the video. Okay. And I took it without water. It's more medicinal tasting than the elderberry. I mean, It is an alcohol. They both are in alcohol, but this one has a little bit more of like the burny sensation that you would get in your mouth from either alcohol or, again, some kind of herbal remedy. And I know you say you can also take it in water. I just like the burny sensation. Just put it, I just take it directly, and then you want to chase it with some water. That's good. But let's talk about what's in this.
Right. So the strongest ingredient in there is peppermint, which is great because it opens up the senses, the sinuses. A lot of people complain about sinus pressure. It helps to kind of reduce that pressure. I had Liz, contact me during the wildfires in California, and she had taken a walk and come back in, and her lungs were bothering her. So she just asked me, can I take your products? And I said, well, they're not meant for that, but sure, try it out. And she said they just cleared up her lungs. She felt the sensation of the peppermint going down and burning all the way down, but she said it cleared it up.
Awesome.
So that was a non-label use.
Well, and again, so peppermint's in it. Okay, so we've got organic chamomile, organic yarrow, organic peppermint, organic catnip, and then grain alcohol. Can we talk about the catnip for a second? Because I can't remember if I took it or Doug took it, and then sugar went crazy. Because there's catnip in it. And I don't think most people know that humans can take catnip. So what are the benefits of catnip? Obviously.
So catnip has the opposite effect that it does in cats to humans. So in humans, it has more of a sedative effect. Not sure why, but it does. And it kind of calms you down. That's why the chamomile is in there. Sometimes when you have a headache and it's throbbing and you're like, you start to get stressed out, like, why, I want to get rid of this. It hurts, so chamomile will help to ease that. Sometimes you have a stomach ache. Chamomile is great for that too. Yarrow is just a great all-around herb. It's great for the sinuses as well. We're breathing in toxins, unfortunately. And sometimes your headache is environmental.
So we've addressed headaches, possibly lung burning from fires and inhaling smoke and pollutions and toxins and environmental, issues. And then what about joint pain and inflammation? What else? What about digestive issues? What would this help?
Yes, because the chamomile is in there. So chamomile is great. It's a good tummy tamer. It's a great herb to give to your kids if they have tummy aches. That's what I was given. That's what I gave my kids when, even when they were little and drinking from the bottle. I made the tea, let it cool down, poured it in the bottle, and let them take it.
I love it.
Yeah.
So this is why this year has been a focal point to bring some of these into reality to help other people and to continue to share with people what has worked for you and your family and the things that you believe people can start with, that they don't have to jump to drugs. And even if they are on drugs, they can maybe reduce the amount that they're on and that they don't always need to, and that they could try home remedies first because that's what you were taught, which I love. Now we have the sleepy time tea.
Yes.
Okay. That was next.
Yeah. And that one has chamomile as well. It has lavender and hibiscus in it. Lavender and chamomile, great at, calming you down when you're, your mind's racing, when you're laying in bed going, oh, I still have to do this. I have to do that. It kind of helps you to calm down a little, and, catnip in there as well.
I saw catnip.
Yeah.
Now, Veronica hopefully will, I love to have tea, but I'm the worst at using loose leaf tea. And I even have all the things, but I want you to develop a thing of your own so that I can use yours, because I'll feel more purposeful if I'm using the tea strainer, the reusable tea strainer that has your logo on it. Or I think we've talked about possibly even astrological signs or something crazy. Yeah. Now you have 2 other products. I know the most recent one we're going to talk with, that'll be the last one. Yes. What's the 4th one?
So I have it's a lemon ginger honey. I just infuse honey with lemon and ginger. It's local honey. So I kind of keep it local to local people. I have several people that have already repurchased from their first time. It's a great thing to add to your tea or just plain water in the morning. I keep it in my fridge. Have tea. You want a sweetener in there, just add the ginger, lemon, honey. It's great to reduce inflammation because of the ginger and the lemon. If you're feeling a cold coming on, that ginger and lemon are great for that as well. Sometimes you get, something stuck in your throat first thing in the morning. Just take it with some water, some warm water.
And local honey is good for helping you to deal with and assimilate any pollutants or allergens in the environment, because taking the honey in an area can help you acclimate so that your body isn't in a histamine response to some of the pollen in the air or whatever else could possibly be agitating your allergies. So for anyone that didn't know that, I think I did 3 shows on honey with Joyce Dales of Cold Be Gone, right? So we talked about all the uses of honey and all the different kinds of bee products, right? And so honey is extremely powerful. For those of you that have not heard those shows, there are literally 3 shows about bee products and the power of honey. So you can go find those or ask me and I'll direct you to where those shows would be to go a little deeper, because we go really, really, really deep with honey and all the different bee products. Okay, now the 5th product. Go ahead. Yeah.
So it's a hangover relief product. It's a simple, 3 ingredient product that helps to detox your body after a night of too much, like that Thursday night in Santa Barbara.
Yes. I actually like taking it the night before because of fasting. I don't want to
Right.
take it in the morning. So if you know you've had a lot to drink, I know we were all standing around the kitchen and got silly pictures of, Gail with a big, massive knife stirring her hangover cure, which that picture alone should be like, hi, I've had too much to drink because I'm using this knife to stir this glass. But the 3 ingredients are chlorella, chia seed, and maca root,
Right.
and then you put it in coconut water. And Veronica has a PDF download that you can get for free with the recipe on it, so you can make it yourself. And while I love to make things myself, and I have all of those ingredients, I found myself saying, hey, can you just make it for me? I would rather just buy it from you already pre-made. So
Right.
So talk to us about, because I love your because you have samples. So for those of you that are curious and you want to try it, and we can talk about the ingredients and the reasons why you would want to use it, and definitely have it on hand and when to use it and how much to use. But it's called the Hangover Cure. And so if you want to try a sample of it or download the free PDF with the recipe on it so you can make it yourself, go to don'tgetahangover.com. So don'tgetahangover.com, and then just give Veronica your information. You'll get the PDF right away. And if you want a sample, she'll send you a sample. All right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the hangover cure. How long have you been doing this hangover cure?
Oh gosh, I've been doing it maybe 3 years now. I've had several family members that have, oh my God, this headache, I had drank too much last night, or after a family party, I'm like, well, drink some of this.
So did you experiment with different recipes when you first did it to get a certain response, or did you just take the products that you knew right away would just be good and then kind of hoped it would work?
So I knew coconut water for sure is super hydrating. It has potassium in it. It's great for putting those electrolytes back into your body. So that was a definite, no-brainer for me. The chlorella, detoxing, again, another no-brainer. The chia seed I kind of put in there because I knew that it would help to line my stomach. Sometimes you get that queasy feeling. You don't know if it's going to come back up after you drank it. It's great in lining the stomach. Chia seeds get that little gel-like consistency. Well, that's what it does in your stomach. And it lines it, helps to keep that moisture in as well, that hydration. Maca, where you feel run down after being up late, drinking too much. Maca gives you a little energy. So do chia seeds.
Yeah, and fiber. So it'll help move things out of your body faster. Yeah. Fiber is great. And like you said about the chia seeds, it pull toxins out. So, and for those of you who have not heard about bits, so bits, the 2 bits that Energy Bits cells are made from, spirulina and or chlorella. And so we did a whole show called The Most Intelligent Food on the Planet. And we talked about the benefit of chlorella and the benefit of spirulina. They're 2 different kinds of algae, and they do 2 different kinds of things. And the chlorella algae is the one that's very detoxifying, and it pulls toxins out of your body and it helps to eliminate. And so basically, again, this is a pretty easy recipe, but I'll tell you, even having all of the ingredients downstairs in my refrigerator and in my cabinet, I just wasn't doing it. I really love that you've made them into sample packets so that I can, because it's also the serving size. Yeah. And when we did it in Santa Barbara to test it out, again, and I wanted to test it out so we could talk about it here today. For those of you, let me go over the reasons why, because it was interesting to see everybody try it, or some people try it, because people fall into a couple different categories. If you tell me something is good for me, I'm going to take it. Now, unless it smells or tastes like something that is literally, so foul, I am most likely going to drink it, eat it, or take it if you tell me all of the positive benefits and why I need it, and if I need it, because that's who I care about my health very much. Some people are not that way. And if something doesn't exactly taste great, right, or then they won't do it.
Like chocolate.
Right. If it doesn't taste amazing, even though there's so many health benefits, like ridiculous health benefits, I think that's why, Energy Bits, and they talk about, the equivalent of taking bits versus eating vegetables and how much more benefit you get from a smaller amount of bits that you'd have to get in so many vegetables that's impossible to eat. So you kind of make those comparisons to sort of get people to take them. So what I love about the hangover cure is that, number one, we're already toxic anyway. So the chlorella is going to help to detoxify your body. The coconut water makes it taste sweet. Now, the only drawback for some people is that it's green. Okay, so it's green and it has chia seeds in it, right? And so some people are like, oh my gosh, like tapioca, right? You mix it really well and then you chug it. Now, that's for someone who doesn't love, who's more particular about having to have something taste amazing. But here's why I'm going to tell you this is a good drink to have just on a regular basis anyway. Number one, the fiber. Most of us do not get enough fiber, and your digestive tract needs help eliminating things. So if you have any kind of elimination issues, this is a good, same thing with the chlorella. The chlorella plus the chia seeds will help your bowel movements, will help you be regular, will help move things out of your body, clean your colon. And a lot of you have like really a lot of crap stuck, like literally crap stuck in your colon, and you could probably lose a few pounds if you just clean it out. Yeah. So besides hangover cure, and you can do this preemptively, like if there've been a couple nights since Santa Barbara that I've had a little too much wine. And rather than think, am I going to have a hangover in the morning and I'll take it after the fact, I take it before I go to bed at night, which I prefer anyway. And then there was one night after doing like a lot of exercise, and I thought this is a really great recovery drink also for when you're doing hiking or running or biking or some kind of, half marathon, triathlon, over 60 minutes of exertion. It's a great replenishment drink also for that. So, and it's not, a lot of energy drinks have unnecessary stimulants. Yes. And you don't need those stimulants. And a lot of sugar. And the sugar comes from the coconut water, but it's natural sugar found in coconut water. But the amount of fiber, the amount of protein, the amount of antioxidants and adaptogens in this drink are like insane. So if you can put yourself in the situation to say, if I drink something that tastes a little bit sweet, and yes, it's green. Get over the fact that it's green, but it's going to literally replenish your electrolytes and have you feel amazing and feel good and not have a hangover. I mean, come on. So that's why we wanted to offer you to try it on today's show.
Not to mention, you don't have to overindulge in alcohol. It could be food. It could be, like you said, too much exercise or over exertion. It's a great balancer.
Great. It is. I took it, like I said, I took it the other day after exercise because I felt a little depleted, and I also wanted the detoxing properties of the chlorella and of the chia seeds. So anyway, don't get hangover.com if you aren't watching on the video. So Veronica will send you a sample, and you can download the PDF to make it yourself, and all of the ingredients and how to make it are all there. Or you can also just get a sample and try it. I literally took all the rest of the samples that Veronica brought because I plan on using them, not because I plan on drinking so much I'm having a hangover all the time, but because I love the nutrition of it. And that's the thing. Even though you made this to be a hangover cure, I love the nutrition aspect of it.
Well, for sure. I put it in my morning smoothie this morning.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. And I hope everybody reaches out, because during these holiday times where you are probably going to drink too much if you drink, or you're going to eat stuff you don't normally eat. Some of you may not drink at all, but let's say you eat too much sugar, or you eat dyes, or you eat processed foods, or you eat, foods that have preservatives in them, right? Yeah. Then you may want to detox, and this hangover cure will also detox you from that, because again, the chlorella and the chia seeds are going to move it all through you.
Right.
So if you don't like taking psyllium husk, and you don't like taking fiber because you think so, hey, let's put that out there. So for those of you that take those drinks, this is way better. This is you are not going to be drinking something that, it's still liquid. And when you do psyllium husk and water, it's like you're drinking like this, that's super gritty. That is not this. That is not this. Nope. This has a little bit of that, but it's not like that.
And if you feel that it would, you can always pop it in a blender.
I haven't done that yet. I'm going to do that next. I'd like to see how that. So basically, the blender would crush up the chia seeds,
right,
and then make it thicker like a smoothie,
right.
Now we should have done that in Santa Barbara, because I bet you everybody would like that,
right? Just say it's a green smoothie.
It's a green smoothie, yep. And I bet you probably even could, if you're putting it in a blender with some ice,
Mhm.
You probably could even put a little cocoa powder in it and make
Yeah.
it
Oh, yeah.
chocolate, and you could disguise the fact that it's green with some. And that's the thing. I watch people who don't eat very healthily, not all of you guys, but just, people who tend to not do what I do, meaning like you care more that it tastes good than it's healthy for you, which is fine if that's how you want to have it. But again, I'm encouraging everyone to care about what the quality of your food does to your health and your longevity. But I bet you, had we mixed it as a smoothie and put some cocoa powder in it and made it chocolate,
Yeah.
everybody would be like, "This is amazing," right? So it's just having the base of those ingredients to, again, replenish your electrolytes, hydrate your body, cleanse you, pull out toxins, and again, give your cells. I think chlorella, we talk about on the most intelligent food on the planet. We talk about how I think chlorella gives your body like the fluids that it needs also. And for people that are, I think for newborns, or like if someone needs,
Oh,
is
yeah.
like fluids, like using the chlorella will help provide that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Veronica, you have a business now called Nature's Sorcery.
Yeah.
And again, you guys can check out the other products at naturessorcery.com, NATURES, Nature's Sorcery, SOR, there's no U in it. Okay, SORCERY.com, Nature's Sorcery, to check out the other products. And so is there anything, so the special, I guess, the JJ special will be that you actually can get a sample of the hangover cure to
Right.
try it. Okay. So again, and of course, getting the free recipe by going to don'tgetahangover.com. They can get the download PDF there, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so now what is next for Veronica? So we have created these products. You said yes to, I'm going full bore next year with the mastermind in my company. What are the goals?
To expand line products. I want to have more products to help with different ailments, just rebalancing the body, getting rid of inflammation overall, because honestly, that's probably what's wrong with your body. If you need something, rebalance everything, get it functioning properly. So yeah, more products, maybe a subscription box here or there. Yeah, I'm really excited. Really excited. I don't want to say too much.
I do want you to say too much because I want you to commit. So
Okay.
Veronica, yeah, let's commit a little,
Okay.
shall we, Libra, Taurus, Moon?
Yes.
Because if you keep it swirling in your head and you don't tell anybody, then you don't have to commit to it. So because you have joined the executive track of the mastermind, you will be on the show a year from now.
Yeah.
And I would like people to be able to hear the progress that has been made. Now, no pressure, meaning, Charlene started out this year with a very specific, and you might have heard her talk about that in a show I did in November called The Price to Pay for Living Your Purpose. She started out with thinking she was going to go down a certain path, and then that path changed. And that's always what can happen when you're in business. You can pivot, you can redirect, you can go down another leg, if you will, and go, wow, this really works well. I'm going to do this for a little while also, or instead of. So not to pigeonhole you into holding you to certain goals, but what are some of the goals that you want to reach between now and a year from now?
Okay. So sticking kind of with the drinking theme, we have recorded some episodes of a podcast that we'll be launching in the coming year. And it's around drinking beer. Right now it's around drinking beer. We might expand to different alcohols. And then I'd like to either start distilling my own infused alcohol or just infuse somebody else's alcohol. So yeah.
That's very exciting. And there are more things coming down the pipeline with Nature's Sorcery. So again, check out Veronica's products. There's also a way for you to just be on her mailing list for when she has new products. And you want to follow her at Nature's Sorcery on Instagram. And of course, you'll hear more about her throughout the year here on the podcast as she's in the mastermind. And I guess what I want to know from you is, when you were sitting on the other side of this interview or sitting outside of the podcast and you were just listening, I mean, what were some of the things that you needed to learn or grow into in order for you to take these kinds of leaps of faith and commitments of accountability and financial accountability to being in a group like this and to setting these goals? Like, what would you have needed to hear, or What have you learned to get you to this place that other people are still struggling with?
Number one, for sure, learning to love myself. Number two has been, you are the creator of your own reality. So I am creating my reality. I don't ask anybody for, I mean, I do ask people for input, but I don't expect them to change my life. I am the one who's changing my life.
So if someone's on the other side listening to this and they're where you were and they're thinking, I want to do a product that would be really cool. That would be really cool. But I don't know if I can. I'm embarrassed. I work a full-time job. I don't know if one of the things that I think some people think of when they do something like joining the mastermind is that I have to achieve a certain amount of success or something. There's something I have to achieve. And again, it's going to be different for everybody, whether it be financial or just completing the project or just starting the momentum going. What were your first goals for this year in the foundation level?
My goals were just to get started. I didn't know where to start or how. And I think just being in the membership helped me I learned a lot from each of the ladies, from the different presenters, on just how to run my own business without having to have a degree, because when I learned business, there was no social media. It's a different landscape. It's a totally different landscape. And I think that was a stopping point for me for a minute. And I kind of let it trigger me. And I was like, wait, I know you've pushed through darker things. This is just a computer. It's not that hard.
Well, and I believe that, correct me if I'm wrong, I did not go to school for marketing or business. And every time I hear that someone, not you, but I'm just saying, I have people in my past that, I went to school for business. I'm like, do you have a business? Because correct me if I'm wrong, like when you're sitting and learning about business, you're playing with other people's money. Like
right.
you learn how to work inside an already established business that has a marketing budget, that has processes. It's like,
right.
Try creating something out of nothing, period. Yeah. Right? Would you agree it's a whole different beast?
It is. It definitely is.
Yeah. When people are like, I know somebody who's thinking about she is doing her own thing, but people have said, I need to spend money on marketing. I'm like, whoa, on advertising. I'm like, hold up. What do you need to spend money on advertising? Well, because when you work for a company and they spend money on advertising, they don't teach you how to make something out of nothing. They don't teach you.
And there's actual ads that they have to put out.
Right. Right. There are so many, like, that is unnecessary as an entrepreneur right away when you have all social media and free tools, not to mention you don't even know what works yet, like creating ads. So I just, my experience of receiving people who've gone to business school does not apply when you start your business, because it doesn't teach you how to make something out of nothing without a big lump of like money up front. Most people think, I need to go get an investment. I got an investment. And that went away real quick because I spent it like I had a company. I spent it on uniforms. I spent it on, I had t-shirts. I had stationery. I had marketing things. I had the website, but I had no clients. I had no strategy. I had no way of utilizing what I had at my fingertips. It didn't cost me any money on how to get clients. And so what do you think the biggest thing you've learned this year would be in the business space?
Not to let others' negativity get to you. There's always going to be people that tell you can't do it, or who are you to do this? What are you doing? It's your life, and it's not for them. It's for you. They're not your customer. I'm repeating a lot of JJ's words.
No, that's okay. But you're living them. And it shows in the action that you're taking. It shows in the commitment that you're making. It shows in your growth. It's too bad we don't have everybody else on the podcast with us from the group to be like, yeah, Veronica came out of her shell on that. Right. And it's not, it's again, loving yourself, stepping into who you are. It's changing the dynamics. If I know that when you came out to the podcast masterclass that Doug and I did in January, you also, when you pulled the trigger on that, you were like, oh my God, I'm doing something crazy. It was free, but yes, you had to jump on a plane and you spent the night. So there was cost involved, but it was free. But again, it was only the second time you had left home to go do something that's
Yeah.
for you and has nothing to do with your kids necessarily. It
Right.
was your husband too. But I think that that's going to resonate for some people because we all have dynamics that we work within. And when you want to break or change that, we often feel resistance because we feel like we have that conversation of letting others down, not being there for them, hiding behind them. What if I
Well,
fail? What if this
not
isn't
only
right?
that, but the role that was assigned to you in your family. So, you're the smart one, the one that, well, maybe I want to take some risks and see what's out there. I don't have to be who they said I am.
Who are you now, Veronica, versus who you were before?
I'm a business owner.
Woohoo! You are a business owner. And we haven't even talked about that other thing we talked about. I'm not going to put that on you, but you had a very passionate idea about creating another line of products that I don't know if you're ever going to bring that
Yeah.
back into the world, but that was very exciting.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
I might. I think it's still back burner for me.
Okay.
I think the herbs are front and center for sure.
Okay. All right. So make sure everybody, first of all, let's go to naturesorcery.com to check out Veronica's products. I would recommend, we're heading to the end of the year here. There's only a few weeks left in the year, but still, if you want a gift that's new and different, that people don't like drugs or they don't want to keep taking those things, I would definitely, you have a bundle still, right, Veronica?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So she sells this, you get a discount if you buy the bundle. And so you could buy a bunch of bundles for people for Christmas. I know, again, we're nearing up here on the end of the year, but it may be even past Christmas for birthday presents, for beginning of the year, things that you give people because start the year off with higher immunity and calmer bodies, right? So check out naturesorcery.com. And of course, please go download and get yourself a free sample of the don'tgetahangover.com because I'm telling you, it works. And again, this is not a podcast to promote that you overdrink. This is just to say that this is a health drink. It's a health drink that can help detoxify you. It's a drink that you have on hand if and when you should eat or drink too much of things you don't like and you don't want to feel bad in the morning. And it's also a post-recovery drink.
Right. And it doesn't have to be an alcohol hangover.
True. So don'tgetahangover.com. Get there, get it, and then report back. And I love it the way it is, but I haven't tried blending it yet. And so I just gave you an idea there. Like if you want to get a kid to drink it or a husband or wife that does one of those, like, well, I don't like the way it tastes or I don't like the consistency, but they're willing to play with it, blend it, put some ice in it and some cocoa powder, maybe a little stevia, although you won't need it with the coconut water, and then there you still have the same benefits in a different form that gets to trick them all into better health.
I just thought of another one. Popsicles.
Blended. After you blend it, though.
Blended, throw them in a little popsicle tray, pop it in the freezer for a few hours, and there you go.
Excellent. All right, Veronica, any last words let's go back to today's theme for you for the last, since you, I guess, started working with me back in 2019, that there is no better than here, and why that's important for moving forward just in all aspects, because your goals haven't changed, but your relationship to yourself has, right?
Right. So my here is achieving everything that I want to do. My here is being present, whether it's in the business or with my family or together. They can help me with my business as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've talked about that in terms of getting your kids involved. When you create something that other people can help you with, it becomes a family business. And that's great. Any other goals for you, maybe either personally or like what you're looking forward to in 2021?
Yeah, just getting my health. I've, I've been going to a functional medicine doctor, getting my health back in order, getting myself back in order. So that's personally something I'm learning to do. I think I've traveled this year more than I have in the past 20 years. So that's been exciting. Even through COVID, I've traveled more than I have ever, and more traveling for sure, and getting that business to be self-sustaining.
And, Veronica is Also, I've encouraged her that she's in groups on Facebook and off of Facebook. She's in groups where people are wanting to do similar things with herbs. So the other thing I'm going to say is reach out to Veronica through Nature's Sorcery if you are wanting to create products and you haven't done it yet, because she may be available to help you get it done since she's already done it, right? And so rather than try to figure it out on your own, she may be someone who could guide you through a small group or, one-on-one sessions or something. If you are somebody who's been sitting on a product idea and you're like, how do I make these? How do I do this? I don't know how to do it. And I want help from someone who's done specifically that. Definitely reach out to Veronica and see if she's available to make some time for you, or if joining one of the masterminds is right for you. We now have 3 levels. There's 2 levels of the Inner Circle and a new group called the Emerging. So would love to have you entertain that. If it's something you're interested in, go to jjsinnercirclemastermind.com to fill out an application. It's free to apply. There's no cost. We can have a conversation. But if you're attracted to Veronica's products, the herbs, the natural, the tinctures, the teas, the hangover cure, the things that she's making, and you want her help, go to naturesorcery.com and drop her an email and tell her you heard about her on the show and you'd like to hire her to help you do your products.
Yeah. Happy to help.
Yeah. Excellent. All right, Veronica, thank you for today's episode. Guys, hang out for the next year because you're going to hear the before and after pictures from Veronica. If she has her current 5 products.
Yes.
And we will be reporting back a year from now to see what has happened and the growth. Yeah. So naturesorcery.com, don'tgetahangover.com, and don't forget that there is no better than here.
Yes.
And being in alignment and being grounded and being ready is the place of where your power is. And then you make decisions from where you are.
Right.
Excellent. Thanks, Veronica, for being here.
Thank you, JJ.